Let us have this one. Now, for quadratic equation, the form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And by quadratic formula, the roots are minus b plus, the other is minus b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now, let us try to have this problem. In x squared minus kx plus 9 is equal to 0, we are asked here to find the value of k if the roots are equal. Meaning, x1 equals x2. For x1 and x2 to be equal, take note that their difference is created by this quantity. This is plus, this is minus. Now, the only way by which x1 is equal to x2 is if this and this are 0. Okay? Kasi, ang magiging roots minus b over 2a. Right? Naintindihan? So, the condition for x1 to be equal to x2, dapat this quantity, the one inside, called the discriminant is 0. So, dapat b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Now, ang b dito is minus k. So, quantity squared minus 4. The a is 1 and the c is 9 is equal to 0. This is 36. So, k squared is equal to 36. So, k equals, dahil squared to, this would be plus and minus square root of 36. So, this would be 6. When k is plus or minus 6, the roots are equal. You follow? Now, let us take the second problem. In the quadratic equation, x squared minus mx plus 3 is equal to 0, we're asked here to find m so that the product of roots and sum of roots are equal. x1 times x2 equals x1 plus x2. Now, take note here that the product and sum of roots, if we will add these two, we'll have x1 plus x2 will be, the denominators are the same, so we can simply add their numerators. This plus and minus, they will cancel out. So what we will have will be minus b plus minus b minus 2b over 2a. So 2 will cancel, you'll get this as negative b over a. This is the formula for sum of roots. And also, for product of roots, x1 times x2, hindi ko na i-derive yung product of roots, ha? Pagka minultiply mo yan and then sinimplify mo, ang makukuha mong formula will be c over a. You follow? So, ibig sabihin, ang sabi dito, this is equal to this, x1 times or plus x2 equals x1 times x2. Now, dito yung x1 plus x2 is minus b over a. So, minus of minus m over a, your a is 1 equals x1 times x2 is c over a. Your c is 3. Your a is 1. So, 1 lang naman yan. So, minus of minus m. So, m is going to be equal to 3. This is the value of m. You follow? Maliwanag. Okay. Now, when it comes to age problem, simple lang ang principle. Ang principle is the time elapsed for persons concerned are equal. Yung itinatanda ng lahat ng taong pinag-uusapan, pare-parehas lang. In 5 years, tatanda ako ng 5, kayo 5 din, di ba? Hindi pinag-uusapan yung mukha dito, ano? Pwedeng ako tumanda yung mukha ko ng 7 years, kayo 3 years, pero wala namang face problem sa board exam. Ang pinag-uusapan, age problem. Regardless sa face, yung itatanda ng age, parehas. Now, simple lang ang solution dito, no? Simple subtraction. Yung time elapsed ng lahat ng tao, parehas. Halimbawa, ang sabi dito, Wenz is 5 years older than Levi. So, ang ibig sabihin, if Levi is X, when is 5 years older, so this is X plus 5. Older, no? Hindi 5 times, no? As old. So, ito, older, mas matanda ng 5. So, plus 5. Sabi dito, in 5 years, the product of their ages will be 1.5 times the product of their present ages. So, kung after 5 years, bawat isa sa kanila tatanda ng 5. Ito magiging x plus 5 plus 5, x plus 10. Ito magiging x plus 5. Okay? So, ang sabi sa atin dito, the product of their ages here is 1.5 times the product of their ages here. So, you have x plus 10 times x plus 5 equals 1.5 times x plus 5 times x. Yung x plus 5 will cancel. So, therefore, what we will have here is going to be x is going to be equal to what? That would be 20. So, therefore, Levi is 20 years old. Nasundan niya? Okay. Gawin pa natin itong isang problem. Ang sabi sa atin dito, I am now 36. When I was as old as you are now, I am twice your age that time. How old are you now? Okay? So, ganito na lang gawin natin, ha? In our solution, lagay ko na lang I saka you, no? Ito yung was, ito yung is, or ito yung am. So, let me interpret. Ang sabi sa atin dito, I am now 36. I am 36. When I was, that refers to this time. When I was as old as you are now. So, kung ito X, when I was X, tama? So, ang sabi natin dito, you are now X. When I was X, parang ganon. When I was X, meaning during this time, I am twice your age that time. No? So, this is a conditional statement. This is referring to your age during this time. No? So, I am twice your age that time. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, etong X, twice nito. So, it means eto is X over 2. You get it? When I was X, your age now, I was twice your age that time, referring to this time. So, ang tinatanong, how old are you now? You are X. So, we're looking for X. Simple lang. Ang key equation, yung itinanda ni I sa ni U, parehas lang. So, you have 36 minus X is also equal to X minus X over 2. You follow? Maliwanag. So, therefore, solving X here, your X is going to be 24 years old. Clear? Okay, you may copy. Another type of problem encountered in the board exam is the sum of age problem. We are not talking here of individuals' ages, but rather the sum of group of individuals. For example, in this problem, we talk of sum of parents' ages versus sum of their children's ages. Now, in this problem, we will apply the theory of most likely possibility. That theory is not formalized but normally applied in most complicated problems. Like, for example, the problems mostly encountered in Mathematics Olympiad. So if there are many possibilities, most likely the reason why the author did not specify it, he was thinking of the most obvious. I also call this the theory of the obvious. Now, we are talking here of parents' ages. Of course, hindi sinabi how many couples or parents are there. But if that would be your frame of mind, you will not be able to solve the problem. So most likely the reason why the examiner or the one who framed the question did not mention the number of parents is because he was talking of only one pair of parents, one couple. Meaning, the number of parents is nanay, tatay, there are only two persons. Now, we do not know here the number of children. Let us say that there are n children. So, 2 parents, n children. 5 years ago, the sum of parents' ages is 4 times the sum of their children's ages. We are talking always of sum of ages. Now, the question is, how many children are there? This is an age problem, but we're not asked to solve an age, but the number of people. Now, the technique here is this. Represent the average age of the people whose number you do not know yet. In this situation, the children. Now, talking of average, average is simply sum over n. Right? So, we say now that sum is going to be equal to n times average. If the average age is A, multiply that by the number of persons, you get the sum of ages. Now, let me tabulate here the sum of ages. The sum of ages of parents and the sum of ages of their children. So let me specify here, 2 parents and children. 2 couples, 1 mother, 1 father. 2 persons. Let us divide this into 3 columns. Was, is, and will be. We are talking here of sum of ages. Now, the sum of ages is n times average. If the average age of children at present is A, the sum of ages of children at present is n times A. And the average age of children 5 years ago will be A minus 5. Why A minus 5? Because of this. Suppose at present, you have 3 children. Example, whose ages are 9, 10, and 11. The average age of 9, 10, and 11 is 9 plus 10 plus 11, that's 30, divided by 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10, the average. Or average is also known as mid value. That is the mathematical shortcut. The mid value of 9, 10, and 11 obviously is 10. That is the average. So these are their ages at present. 5 years ago, their ages were 9 minus 5, 4, 10 minus 5, 5, 11 minus 5, 6. The average of 4, 5, and 6 is 5. Each age decreased by 5, the average also decreased by 5. So if at present the average age of children is A, 5 years ago it's A minus 5, and in 15 years or 15 years from now, it would be A plus 15. So that is the key here. So you multiply the average by n, then you have the representation for sum of ages of children. Let us interpret the statements of the problem paragraph by paragraph. The sum of parents' ages, meaning at present, is twice the sum of their children's ages, understood to be also at present. If this is the sum of children's ages at present, the sum of parents' ages is twice that of their children. So this is 2 and A. 5 years ago, so this is a conditional statement, meaning what follows happens 5 years ago. The sum of parents' ages when? 5 years ago. Hindi to is ng present. This is past perfect tense. So, this is of 5 years ago, meaning it's really was. Remove the 5 years ago, you have to say it in this manner. The sum of parents' ages was. It cannot be is. You follow? Because you are referring to 5 years ago. But if you begin your sentence with 5 years ago, a time condition, you can use here either was or is. You use is if you are storytelling or reporting. But if you are telling an information or narrating a history, you can use the was. Okay? Now, but is or was, you are referring to sum of parents' ages 5 years ago. So, if this is the sum of children's ages 5 years ago, 5 years ago, the sum of parents' ages is 4 times this. So, it is 4 times N A minus 5. And in 15 years, the sum of parents' ages, so this is a time condition. So, what follows are all happening in 15 years, except otherwise specified. The sum of parents' ages will be equal to the sum of their children's ages. So if this is the sum of children's ages, the sum of parents' ages will be N, A plus 15 also. Let us set up now our key equations. So our key equation, remember this is 5 years ago, present. So the time element here is 5 years. Present and 15 years from now, so the time element here is 15 years. So, considering the two parents, from 5 years ago to present, the difference of the sum of their ages is 2NA minus the sum of their ages 5 years ago, 4N A minus 5, this is equal to what? What do you think? This is 5 years times the number of people. So, 5 times 2. Bakit 5 times 2? Kasi yung difference ng age ng father from here to here is 5 years. And the difference of the age of mother from here to here is also 5 years. So there are two people, there are 5 years. So this is the years involved times the number of persons in the group. Kung children yan, then the multiplier is N. So simplifying this, 2NA minus 4NA, that would be minus 2NA minus 4n times minus 5, this would be 20n is equal to 10. This is equation 1. Let me consider present to 15 years from now. 15 years. So the sum of parents' ages during this time, that's n times a plus 15 minus the sum of their ages at present, 2 and A, must be equal to 15 years times the number of persons in that group. This is 2. So, NA minus 2NA, this is minus NA. N times 15, this is 15N. And this is going to be equal to 30. You follow? Now, we have here two equations 2. unknowns. Pwedeng yung NA mo, siya yung X, yung N mo, siya yung Y. You solve these two equations, two unknowns, you'll have your N represented in your calculator by Y. Your Y, which represents N, is going to be equal to 5. So there are 5 children. Let me repeat. For sum of age problem, you begin by representing the average age of the group of people whose number you do not know yet. If the average age is A, the sum of ages from the definition of average is N times the average. So N times average. If A is the average at present, 5 years ago it's A minus 5, 10 years ago it's A minus 10. 15 years from now is A plus 15, 20 years from now it's A plus 20. You follow? Let's have this one. For work problem, the principle is this. From the formula SSVT, I know all of you are familiar with this. What is velocity? Distance over time. Distance over time times time, of course, is distance, right? Anything with respect to time is rate. So velocity is a rate. Rate of covering a distance or displacement. Now, the simple thing that we will do is this. If we will have this instead of distance as the work or amount of work done for time t, you cancel t, then you have the work. Right? So, ang pinaka-technique lang is rate of doing work times time is the amount of work done. We shall express this in terms of percent or decimal. No? So the rate of doing work times time is amount of work in percent or in decimal done by a worker. Now suppose the work is finished. For finished work, the amount of work done is going to be equal to 1. So kung sisimplify ko yung rate, for example, A is the rate of worker A times the time he worked. Kung natapos yung trabaho, this will be equal to 1. Kung natapos. Kung nangalahati, equals 0.5. Now, from this equation, we can see that A is going to be 1 over the time to finish the work alone. To identify that time to finish the work alone, we will be using a subscript. So the rate of doing work and the time to finish the work alone are reciprocals, no? Or we can say here that T sub A is 1 over the rate of worker A. Let me illustrate how to apply this. A and B can do a piece of work in 5.5 hours. Ibig sabihin, they can finish it in 5.5 hours. In equation form, if A and B are the respective rates of workers A and B, so in 5.5 hours, tapos ang trabaho. So the contribution of A is the rate of A times the time he worked, 5.5 hours, plus the contribution of B is the rate of B times the time he worked, that is 5.5, and this is equal to 1. Rate times time, kung natapos ang trabaho, equals 1. No? Okay. So, let me call this as equation 1. Okay? Now, after 3 hours of working together, A became ill. No? So, ganito yung nangyari. Nagtrabaho muna sila ng 3 hours. So, the amount of work done by A for 3 hours is rate of A times time he worked. Plus the amount of work done by B is the rate of B times the time he worked. But after 3 hours, hindi pa tapos yung trabaho, right? Kasi 5.5 hours together, they'll be able to finish it. But they only work for 3 hours. May natitira pang 2.5 hours together work. No? Now, ang nangyari, nagkasakit si A. Hindi na siya makatuloy, no? So, siguro, naging COVID positive, no? Wag naman, okay? So, ang magpapatuloy na lang ng trabaho si B. Ang sabi dito, worker B continues and finish the job alone in 6.5 hours more. So, yung magagawa ni B is the rate of B times the time he worked, 6.5 hours. After B worked for 6.5 hours without A anymore, tapos ang trabaho, this is equal to 1. Basta natapos ang trabaho, rate times time, rate times time, once it is finished, work is equal to 1. So, simplifying this equation, we will have here 3A plus 9.5B is equal to 1. Let me call this equation 2. You have here two equations, two unknowns. You can solve A, you can solve B. So, using your calculator, we have A and you have your B. Pakisolve lang. So, solving for A, you'll get here 0.1119 and B is going to be 0.0699. These are their respective rates. So, the time for worker A to finish the work alone, as we said, that's the reciprocal of the rate. So, this is 1 over A. So, 1 over 0.1119, you compute this and you'll get this as 8.94 and the unit of time we've been using is hour. So, this is the time A can finish it without the help of B. Okay? Now, the time for B to finish the work alone is 1 over B. So, this is 1 over 0.0699. Okay? So, you compute this. This is going to be 14.31 hours. This is the time B can finish it alone. You get it? Okay, you may copy. Another expression of work done is not in percent or decimal or portion of work done, but in terms of man-days, man-hours, no? Halimbawa, if M is the number of men who work for certain number of days D, so the amount of work done or the quantity of the work is expressed in terms of man-days. Naintindihan? Instead of percent work done. Okay? Now, for example here, sabi, 10 men can paint an entire house in 30 days. Ang ibig sabihin, etong work na to is 10 man days times 30, that is 300 man days. Naintindihan? So, that is the entire work. Now, ang sabi sa atin dito, but due to sickness, one man was not able to work for the first 6 days. So, kung 10 sila, may sakit yung isa, ilan natira? 9. So, ibig sabihin, ang nagawa lang for the first 6 days, 9 men working times 6 days. Ito lang yung nagawa, 54 man days. Tama? Then, anong nangyari after 6 days? Starting on the 7th day, the entire crew worked for the next 15 days. So, kompleto sila sa 15 days. So, yung nagawa nila is 10 men working for 15 days. So, additional 150 man days. Ang kaso, after 15 days, dalawang painter nag-resign. If the remaining workers will work at their original individual space without overtime, how long will the project be delayed? Kung nag-resign yung dalawa, ilan na lang natira? 8, di ba? So, yung magagawa ng 8 is the number of 8 people, that's 8, times the number of days they will work. Sabi natin X. So, yung X is the number of days, remaining days, that the 8 worker will have to work to finish the work. No? So, kung natapos yung trabaho, ito ngayon yung buong trabaho, which is equivalent to 10 times 30, 10 men working for 30 days, 300 Mondays. So, kapag kinumpute mo yung x from this equation, your x is going to be 12. Ang tinatanong, gaano daw yung delay? So, ibig sabihin, yung total time natin is going to be yung first 6 days plus yung 15 days plus yung additional x days. So, isubstitute mo itong 12 sa x, 12 plus 15, 27 plus 6, this would be 33 days. So, ibig sabihin, the number of days delay is going to be 33 times the original number of days, the target days, minus 30. So, there was a delay of 3 days. So, ito yung delay. You get it? Okay. You may copy. When it comes to mixture problem, the principle is very basic. You just consider the amount of solute. Solute, yun yung dissolved element or substance, and the solvent is the medium or the dissolving element. Normally, ang universal solvent is water, okay? Pero hindi lagi, ha? Okay. Now, according to this problem, how many liters of 20% solution, hindi binanggit kung anong klaseng solution. Salt solution, coffee solution, sugar solution, alcohol solution. Sabihin na lang nating salt para lang sa discussion, ha? Okay. So, how many liters of 20% solution? Let us represent that solution or mixture by this box. Ang tinatanong, how many liters of this, and it is 20% solution, just for discussion purposes, sabihin nating salt solution. So, this must be 20% salt. Must be added to 3 liters of 50% solution. And for illustration, sabi natin, salt. 50% of 3 liters salt. Okay? Now, in order to produce 40% of salt solution, it's simple common sense. You have 3 liters. Nagdagdag ka ng x liters. Ilan ang kakalabasan? That would be 3 plus x liters. The key equation is as simple as this. You consider the amount of solute. In this particular case, salt content. Ang sabi sa atin, 50% of this is salt. So, 0.5 times 3 is salt. Plus, the salt content of this, 20% of this is salt. So, this is 0.2 of x is salt. And it is equal to the salt content of this, which is 40%, 0.4 of 3 plus x. This is one equation in terms of x. You input in your calculator and you solve for x. And you will get x to be 1.5 liters. You add 1.5 liters to this, so you get 4.5 liters. And 4.5 liters of 40% solution. Kuha? Okay. What about this one? How many gallons of water? Let us represent that by this box. Sabihin nating x gallons of water must be added to 10 gallons of pure acid in order to get 70% acid solution. If you have 10 gallons, you add x gallons, how many gallons is the result? Siyempre, 10 plus x. Okay. Now, if this is pure acid, how many percent of this is acid? 100%. Pure, di ba? So this is 100% acid. And this is water. How many percent acid is water? I presume pure water, ha? So it is 100% water. How many percent acid? 0. So this is 0% acid. Ang tinatanong ngayon dito is, what is X? Now, if we will consider the acid content, okay? Kung salt solution, percent salt, you consider salt content. Kung sugar solution, you consider the sugar content. This is acid solution, you consider the acid content. 100% of 10 is acid, so this is 100% of 10 is 10. Plus 0% of X is acid, 0% of X, that's 0. Equals 70% of this is acid. So this is 0.7 times 10 plus X. This is one equation in terms of X. You solve this equation and you'll be able to get X to be equal to 4.286 gallons. Naintindihan niyo? So, simple lang, no? Basta ang kailangan nyo lang is naintindihan nyo lang yung fundamental concept. Huwag kayong mag-memorize masyado ng formula, no? Mag-rely kayo dun sa principle rather than the formula. Okay? Para kahit paikot-ikutin, parehas lang yung magiging solution niya. You follow? Okay, pakikopya. We said that for simultaneous equations to be solvable, the number of equations must be equal to the number of unknowns. However, we say that if the number of unknowns exceeds the number of equations, we say that the system is not solvable. However, there is an exception to that rule. If we are dealing with the Diophantine equations, even you lack equations, it can be solved. How? By systematic trial and error. Now, equations are said to be Diophantine, named after the Greek mathematician whose name is Diophantus. These are equations, all variables of which are whole numbers or are integers, no? Non-negative integers. Okay? Now, in problem number 12, it says, on our way back from US, I asked my son Dodong to collect all our coins, which composed of penny, nickels, dimes. Then I asked him, did you count the total number of coins? He said, yes, Tatay, there are 50 coins all in all. And there are twice as many quarters as nickels. Stop muna tayo dito before I continue with this, na? Okay. Now, these are pennies, nickel, dime, quarter. These are the same as cents, meaning $0.01. Okay? Nickel is equivalent to 5 cents, no? Or that is $0.05. And dime is 10th of a dollar. This is 10 cents. And a quarter is 25 cents. A 50 cents is a half quarter. Okay? So, let us say that there are P pieces of this, N pieces of this, D pieces of this, and Q pieces of this. If you add all of them, you have 50 pieces of assorted coins, no? Okay? And let me call this as equation 1. P plus N plus D plus Q equals 50. Yun yung sabi ni Dodong. There are 50 coins in all. Ang sabi dito, there are twice as many quarters as nickels. So, i-reflect ko na lang to dito, ha? This is twice as this. So, I can express this as equal to 2n. And then he inquired, Ty, can I buy a burger? It is $2.8. I said, okay, but use only the coins except the quarters. He said, Ty, all the penny, nickels, and dimes won't be enough. I will need 3 more quarters to pay for the exact amount without any other kind of coins left except some quarters. The question is, how many quarters will be left? This would be the equation. If he will use all of this, this will amount to 0.01 of P, right? P pieces times 0.01 each, this is the amount. Plus 0.05 per piece times n pieces, the value is 0.05 n. Plus 0.10 per piece times d pieces, the total cost of this or amount is 0.10d. But this is still lacking 280. How many more quarters is needed? According to Dodong, he needs 3 more quarters. So plus 3 more quarters, 3 pieces of quarters. Correct? Each quarter is worth 0.25. He didn't use all the quarters. He just used 3 quarters, right? And this is going to be 2.8. Let me simplify this, no? Let me divide everything, no? Let me divide everything by 0.01. If I'm going to divide by 0.01, this would be P plus 5n plus 10d, okay? Plus, divide this by 0.01, so this is 75 is equal to 2.8 divided by 0.01, 280. So simplifying this, you have P plus 5n plus 10d is equal to 280 minus 75. This is 205. Let me call this as equation 2. Okay? Yung equation 1, if we will simplify this without the Q, I have P n plus 2n, that is 3n, plus D is equal to 50 pieces. This is the simplified equation 1. We have 3 unknowns, P, N, and D. We have only 2 equations. We need 1 more equation to make it 3 equations, 3 unknowns. So, kulang ng equation. Ordinarily, you cannot solve this system of equations. The only reason why this would be solvable is if the 2 equations are Diophantine. Meaning, all the unknowns, P, N, and D, must be whole numbers. Ang tanong, are they? Yes, because they are pieces of coins. Walang kalahating coins. They are pieces of coins, so they are whole pieces. Because they are whole numbers, this system of simultaneous equations is still solvable. No? Now, ang una nyong gagawin dito is to find, yung step 1 ng pag-solve, is to find your key equation. How will you identify your key equation? Now, isolve natin yung number of unknowns minus number of equations. Number of unknowns minus number of equations plus 1. Okay? So, ilang equation ang kulang? 3 unknowns minus 2 equations. 1 plus 1, this is 2. The key equation contains 2 unknowns. Ito yung characteristic ng key equation. It is with 2 unknowns. Equation 1 has 3 unknowns. Equation 1 and 2 both has 3 unknowns. So, hindi sila key equation. Correct? Pero I can find one equation with only 2 unknowns by working the 2 equations. Suppose I have equation 2, I subtract equation 1. So, equation 2 minus equation 1, this will be, eto will cancel. 5 minus 3n, this is 2n. 10d minus d, this is 9d. 205 minus 50, this is going to be 155. This is now your key equation. Now, what are we going to do with our key equation? Ganito. You express one variable in terms of all the others. Dalawa lang naman. Either you express n in terms of d or d in terms of n. Total ang hinahanap how many quarters are left, and the number of quarters is expressed in terms of 2n. Let us solve for n. Diba? So, dito, your n is going to be 155 minus 9d over 2. So, this form of equation or key equation will lead us to the correct value of n. You substitute values of d and solve for n. How will we know that the number substituted is correct? Simple. N must be a whole number. So, try d is 1, d is 2. Hindi pwede siyang maging 0. Why? Kasi binanggit sa atin na merong penny, may nickel, may dime, may quarter. Correct? Tama. Okay? So, dito ngayon, eto, i-substitute natin starting with d is equal to 1. Kung hindi pwedeng maging 0 ang value, it means, ang pinaka-least value para sa bawat isa, 1, 1, 1, 1. So, yung tatlo, ang highest na dito, ang lowest na para sa d is 1. Ang highest must be 47. Diba? Maliwanag. So, ang gawin nyo dito, para hindi isa-isa yung substitution, gamitin nyo yung mode table. Ito yung f of x. Ipasok nyo sa calculator nyo yung mode table. Your calculator will ask you your function of x. Ipindot nyo fraction 155 minus 9 alpha x, yung d ang alpha x mo, over 2. So, ito yung function of x mo. The value function of x is n. So, tatanong yan ng value, start value. Meaning the first value of d which you entered in as x that you want to substitute. So, with input or encode 1 equals. Your calculator again will ask you what is your end value. That is the last value of d you want to substitute. Then, we substitute d is 47, no? So, and we have 47. Okay? Pero, kung 1 to 47, tapos 1, 2, 3, 4, hindi kaya ng calculator. Ang pinaka-maximum value na pwede ng calculator is 30 values. Okay? So, dito, gawin lang nating 1 to 30 lang muna tayo. Okay? Pag walang nag-satisfy, balik tayo sa 31 to 47. Okay? Then, tatanong ulit yung calculator step. Ipasok mo lang step 1. Meaning, ang gusto ko, start value 1, then 2, then 3, ang step or increment 1. Press equals. Pag press mo ng equals, your calculator will list down values of x and values ng f of x. Your x is your d, Your function of x is your n. Remember, naghahanap tayo ng d na ang value ng n, whole number. So, sige, kunin lahat ng calculator, pakigawa itong step na to. Ha? Sige, I'm giving you 1 minute to do that. So, as you can see here, once you compute, our n will be whole number for every odd number of x or d. But take note of this. Ang dami mong makukuhang whole number. Pero alin dun sa whole number na yon ang pwede? Pwede mong isa-isahin, i-check mo yung P, tapos i-check mo yung Q. Diba? Look here. Kung titignan natin sa equation na to, this is equal to 50, meron tayong 3 times n. Ang n dito hindi pwedeng maging 17, no? Bakit 3 times 17 is 51? Lagpas na. Ang least number dito is 16. Pero kung 3 times 16, that would be 48. 1, 1, diba? Correct? 1, 1. So, pwede rin. So, ang pinakamababa na sa n is 16. Kung titignan mo yung table mo, ang n mo dyan na 16, represented by f of x, is when x is 15. So, when x is 15, that is represented by d, your n is what? Ito yung pinaka-list, kasi yung susunod na mataas, 19. Hindi pwedeng 19 to. Diba? Kasi 3 times 19, that would be 57. Hindi pwede. 50 lang to eh. So, ang susunod na mas mababa na whole number is 10. That is D is 15. Correct? So, kung ito 15 times 10, so therefore, yung iyong P is 50, 3 times 10, 30, 20. Minus D, P is 5. Correct? So, 15, 10, 5, ano ngayon yung D? That would be 15 plus 5, 20 plus 10, 30, 50 lahat. 20. That is 2n, di ba? Correct? Q is 2n. So, your Q, which is 2n, is going to be equal to, what? 2 times n, 20. So, there are 20 quarters. Ilan daw yung natira? Ilan bang quarters ang ginamit? Di ba 3 quarters? So, therefore, the number of quarters left, okay, Q left is going to be 20 minus 3. This is going to be 17 pieces. So, ibig sabihin, meron kang 17 pieces na natira na quarters. You get it? Maliwanag? Okay, sige, kopya. For number problem, or specifically number digit problem, this is the concept. The difference of the square of a two-place positive number is 27. So, ibig sabihin, two-place, 2 digits. It is a number digit problem. If the digits are reversed in order, the resulting number subtracted from the original number is also 27. Ang tinatanong, what is the original number? Okay? Now, basta ganito, ang tanong is, what is the number? It means one of this is the number. So, be alert on the question. If the question is what is the number, then the solution is just substitution. Look here. The difference of the square of two positive number is 27. 7 squared minus 2 squared. 49 minus 4, 45. Mali yan. 6 squared minus 3 squared. 36 minus 9. Ilan yan? 27. Okay to. 3 squared minus 2 squared. That is 5. Mali yan. Okay? 8 squared, 64 minus 1, 63. Mali yan. Because the difference is 27. So, kahit hindi mo naintindihin to, 63 is the answer. You follow? Maliwanag. Okay? What if one choices, for example, is, one of the choices is 36? Okay? So, paano to? So, the difference, binaligtad lang, is 27. But look, 63 minus 36 is what? That is 27. Pero 36 minus 63 is not 27. It's negative 27. It doesn't satisfy the second condition. You follow? So, therefore, B pa rin ang sagot by substitution. Naintindihan? Klaro? Okay. Sige, kopya. Number 14. When you divide a 3-digit number, so again, this is a number-digit problem. By the sum of the digits, the value is 34. So let us say, ganito yung number. This first digit is X. This tens digit is Y. This units digit is Z. So to represent this in number form, it's not X, Y, Z. Because X, Y, Z is the product of the digits. So in here, the number is X hundreds plus Y tens plus Z. Para yang 123, di ba? 100 plus 20 plus 3. That's 123. 1 times 100, 2 times 10, 3. You got it? Okay. Now, when you divide this by the sum of the digits, that is X plus Y plus Z, the answer is 34. If the digits are reversed, it will exceed the original number by 297. So, if you reverse that, the number with reverse digit will be, this would be Z, this would be Y, and this would be X. This resulting number for condition 2 is Z times 100 plus Y times 10 plus X. So this one minus this original number, which is X times 100 plus Y times 10 plus Z, ang sabi dito, it exceeds the original number by 297. Okay? Alright. Now, isimplify natin to. This is minus 100x plus x minus 99x, 100z minus z, this would be 99z, 10y minus 10y, y will cancel. And this is going to be 297. If I'm going to divide everything by 99, negative 99, this should be x minus z is negative 3. Okay? So, let me call this as equation 2. This is equation 1. I-simplify natin, ha? This would be 100x plus 10y plus z is 34 times this, 34x plus 34y plus 34z. So, 100x minus 34x, this is 66x. 10y minus 34y minus 24y. z minus 34z, this is minus 33z, and this will be equal to 0. Okay? So, we can further simplify this by dividing everything by 3. Okay? So, if we will divide this by 3, everything, you have 22x minus 8y minus 11z is equal to 0. This is equation 1. 2 equations, 3 unknowns. Kulang ng isang equation. Tama? Pero, since all conditions were already used, so, anong gagawin natin? Ordinarily, this is not solvable. Kaya lang, ang only solution dito is if the equations are Diophantine. Now, equations are Diophantine if all the unknown numbers or unknown variables are whole numbers. Question: is it a must that x, y, and z be whole numbers? Yes, because they are the digit of the number. Hindi pwedeng hindi whole. Digit yan eh. Hindi naman pwedeng 102.133, di ba? Dapat whole number. Correct? So, x, y, z are whole numbers from 0 to 9 except x. X cannot be 0. The first digit of the number cannot be 0. Why? Because the problem says 3-digit number. If this is 0, then that is not a 3-digit number. You follow? Okay. So let's do it. So these two are systems of simultaneous equation. So how do we solve? Systematic trial and error. First step is, ano yung first step ng Diophantine system? Find the key equation. Yung key equation contains the number of unknowns minus the number of equations, yung discrepancy ng number of equations and number of unknowns, plus 1. So, it contains this number of unknowns. Tama? Yung U natin is number of unknowns, 3, number of equations, 2. This is 1 plus 1, there must be 2 unknowns. Okay? So, yung key equation, di ba, ang gagawin natin, step number 2, express one variable in terms of the other. So, I have here x is equal to z minus 3. So, mag-assign ka ng z, isolve mo yung x. Pwede natin ito, i-substitute na rin to mismo dito, para isang variable lang. So, yung y natin, so, zx is equal to this. So, yung y natin is going to be equal to what? 11z minus 22x minus 22x. But what is x? Z minus 3. Ito. Over negative 8. I-simplify natin. Yung y natin is going to be 11z minus 22z minus 11z minus 22 times minus 3 plus 66 over negative 8, no? Kung ifa-factor out natin dito yung 11, yung y natin is going to be equal to minus 11 over minus 8, positive, no? Will be z minus, ang pinactor out, minus 11, ha? Okay? So, that would be minus 11. This would be minus 6. Tama? Correct. So, this is minus over minus. This would be plus. Mas maganda kung analyze mo ganitong forma, no? Tandaan, ang y cannot be negative. So, ang z, hindi siya pwedeng bumaba sa 6. Ang pinakamababa niya is 6. Pag ito 6, when z is 6, yung y mo is 0. Pero kung z is 6, y is 0, look here. Ano yung x natin? X is z minus 3. X is 3. Pwede. Tama? Galing sa equation na to. X is z minus 3. Pag yung z mo 7, 7 minus 6, 1. This is 11 over 8. Hindi siya whole number. Hindi pwede. When z is 8, this is 2. That would be 22 over 8. Hindi pa rin pwede. Kasi kailangan whole number. When z is 9, yan ang pinakamataas niya. 9 minus 6, 3 times 11, that would be 33 over 8. Hindi pa rin whole number. So, ibig sabihin, ang acceptable dyan, x is 3. The hundredths digit is 3. Kuha? Okay, paki-analyze. Look at this number problem. The sum of two numbers is 40. And if the larger is divided by the smaller, the quotient is 2 and the remainder is 4. Find the smaller number. Basta ang tinatanong is number, then the solution is simply substitution. No? Hindi mo kailangan yung mga technicalities or technical solution that you can see sa mga libro. All you need to do is substitute. Since what is missing is the smaller number, one of this is the correct number. Ang sabi, the sum of two numbers is 40. So, kung 5 yung smaller, the bigger is 35. Kung 12, then the bigger is 28. Kung 9, the bigger is 31. If 14, the bigger is, it would be 26. Ang sabi, when you divide the bigger by the smaller, the answer is 2, remainder 4. So, 35 divided by 5, that is 7. Mali. 28 divided by 12, how much? 24, di ba? Is 12 times 2. So, 28 divided by 12 is what? That would be 2. How much is the remainder? 2 times 12 is 24. The remainder is 4. Sakto, di ba? 26 divided by 14. 31 divided by 9 is 3, remainder 4. So it means, by substitution, the answer is letter B. You follow? Hindi mo kailangan ng technical solution. Well, anyway, just for the sake of theoretical solution, let me solve. Now, this is not a number digit problem, so you don't need to represent the digits because there are no digits mentioned in the problem, just the number, okay? So, if the bigger number is x, the smaller is y, x plus y is 40. Then, when you divide x by y, the answer is 2, remainder 4, over the divisor y. So, ang hinahanap dito y, let us express x in terms of y. So, x from here is 40 minus y. So, this is 40 minus y over y is equal to 2 plus 4 over y. One equation in terms of y. Input in your calculator and you'll be able to get y is equal to 12. So, hindi kailangang i-represent yung mga digits, individual digits by variables or letters if there are no digits mentioned in the problem. Do you follow? And when the question is find the number, simply substitute. Are you getting that? Okay. Now, for binomial expansion, the principle is that in the expansion of a plus b to the n, a is the first term, b is the second term, n is the exponent or power. There are n plus 1 terms. Explain ko mamaya yung ibig sabihin ng there are n plus 1 terms. The r plus 1th term is NCR. NCR is combination of n things taken r at a time. You have this function in your calculator. A to the n minus r, b to the r. And the numerical coefficient of the fifth term of the expansion of x plus 2y to the 10 is blank. In x plus 2y to the 10, x is the first term, 2y is the second term b, and 10 is the n. Okay? Now, ang hinahanap dito is numerical coefficient of the fifth term. Yung 5 sa fifth term, yan yung r plus 1. So, kung yung r plus 1, kung yung 5, ayan yung r plus 1. Kasi, fifth, r plus 1th. So, kung yung 5 are r plus 1, ano yung r? 4. Yung r is 1 lower than the order of the term. Okay? So, substituting to this, simple lang eh. Direct substitution ng formula. Tapos, eto, parang n craner, no? Tapos, b to the r. Okay? So, therefore, the fifth term is going to be n, ano yung n? 10, c, r is 4, a is x, to the n, 10 minus 4, b, that is 2y to the r. R is 4. So, you simplify 10c4 times 2 to the 4. What you will be getting is 3360 x to the 6, y to the 4th. So, the numerical coefficient is 3360. You follow? Sige, you copy. What about this one? The term involving y cubed in the expansion of x plus 2y to the 10 is blank. So, sabi natin, di ba, yung r plus 1 term is equal to NCR, ano yung n? 10 CR times A, your A is x to the 10 minus r, times B, which is 2y to the r. Ang gusto natin magkaroon ng y cube. Para magkaroon ka ng y cube, ano dapat yung r? Simple common sense, di ba? In order for this to become y cube, r must be 3. Ano pa nga ba? Di ba? So, if r is 3, this would be 3 plus 1 or 4th term. So, you will have here 10c3 x to the 10 minus 3, 7 times 2y to the 3. You simplify this 10c3 times 2 to the 3rd. You compute that. 10c3 times 2 to the 3rd, you will get here 960 x to the 7, y to the 3rd. This is the term involving y cube. What about etong next problem, number 18? Okay? Dito ko na lang lagay yung solution, ha? The term involving x cube in the expansion of x plus 2y to the 10, pares lang, is blank. So, in number 18, ang kailangan lang natin dito is x to the 3rd. Para maging 3 to, ano dapat yung r? 10 minus 7 dapat. Di ba? Para 3. So, therefore, your r is equal to 7. Basta alam mo na yung r. Tapos na yung problema. Okay? So, you have here the 7 plus 1 term, meaning the 8th term, is going to be 10c7 x to the 10 minus 7, 3, then 2y to the 7. 10C7 times 2 to the 7, that is going to be 15,360 x cubed y to the 7. So, ito yung ating term involving x cubed. Naintindihan? Okay. Let's have this one. We're asked here to find the coefficient of the fourth term in the expansion of 2x minus 1 over x to the 10. So, solving this, yung fourth term ang hinahanap natin for the fourth term. This one is r plus 1. R plus 1 is 4. It means, what is our r? 3. Para 3 plus 1 is 4. So, therefore, it is NCR. N is 10. CR, R is 3. A. Your A is 2x to the 10 minus 3. B to the R. Your B is negative 1 over x to the R 3. We just simplify. 10C3 times 2 to the 7. Pagsamahin natin, ha? So, you will have here 10C3 times 2 to the 7 times negative 1 to the 3. Ito yung coefficient. X to the 7 over x to the 3. So, therefore, you calculate this and you'll get here 15,360 x to the 7 over x cubed. This is x to the 4th. This is the term which we are looking for. The fourth term. Maliwanag? Basta kung ang hinahanap ay 7th term, R is 6. Pag ang hinahanap ay 6th term, R is 5. Pag ang hinahanap first term, R is 0. You follow? Maliwanag? So, ito lang ang tatandaan nyo. The number of terms is R plus 1 or N plus 1. There are N plus 1 terms in the expansion. Correct? Ang ibig sabihin, if N is equal to 7, there are 8 terms. If N is equal to 32, there are 33 terms. Ang ibig sabihin dito, when N is 7, the last term is the 8th term. Tama? Ito yung last term. This is the 8th term. When N is 32, the last term is the 33rd term. Diba, kung 8th term, ano ang R? Ang R is 7. Correct? Pag ito 33, ano yung R? 32. Tama? So, ang ibig sabihin, for the last term, your R is equal to N. Naintindihan? Kuha nyo. Okay. Now, if we are looking for the, let us say, 12th term, ano yung R? For the 12th term, R is 11. Correct? Mas mababa ng isa kasi R plus 1 to. Tama? Kung ang hinahanap mo ay 7th term, R is 6. Correct? Maliwanag. Kung ang hinahanap mo 4th term, R is 3. Eh kung ang hinahanap mo ay first term. Kung ang hinahanap mo ay first term, then what is your R? Mas mababa dito ng isa. And what is that? R is 0. Right? So for this one, R is 0. Kuha? Kuha. Okay, sige, kopya.